Hello everyone, and welcome to another first look video, this time from Master of Magic 2022. I'm your host, Colors Fade. Master of Magic comes out tomorrow, December 13th on Steam. The game is being developed by Moohawk Games and Eerie Forest Studio and is published by Slytherin Limited, which coincidentally has a live event tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We will be attempting to simulcast that event on my Twitch channel, Colors Fade Gaming. In the meantime, let's talk about this game. Master of Magic is a very faithful remake of the classic Microprose game of the same name from 1994. It is essentially a 4X strategy game in the style of Civilization, except it takes place on a fantasy world. Instead of building armies with tanks and machine guns and shooting cruise missiles at the enemy, the player builds armies out of elves and other mythical creatures while utilizing spells to tip the odds in their favor. At the start of the game, the player can select from one of several pre-configured sorcerers. Each one of these has their own unique set of spell books that specialize in particular kinds of magic, like life magic or death magic. However, like all great 4X games, you can build your own sorcerer, and this is really where the game shines. There are only so many picks that you have when you're building your own sorcerer, and only so many traits you can have, so you can't have everything, obviously. And some of these require certain prerequisites. For instance, if you want to take mana focusing, mastery over the energy that fuels all magic and increases the mana obtained from power by 25%, you must have already selected 4 spellbooks from a single realm. So you have to be able to select something over here like nature and say, yeah, I'll do that. And then mana focusing shows up and you can select that. There are a ton of options here and a bunch of different ways you can configure your sorcerer. So that gives you the power to figure out what kind of play style you want to use, what kind of spells you favor, and to build a sorcerer exactly the way you want it, which is totally cool. The only drawback, of course, is going into the game cold. You're not going to know exactly what you're going to favor. It's going to take some playing to figure it all out. You're going to have to play the game a few times. But getting back to the game itself, what set Master of Magic apart from other Civ-style games way back in 1994 is that it added a tactical, turn-based combat mode for army battles. And this allowed for more complex battle scenarios and provided ample opportunity for the sorcerers to utilize the various combat spells that they had researched. The original Master of Magic spawned a host of successors: Age of Wonders, Warlock, Master of the Arcane, Endless Legend, and Fallen Enchantress all owe their existence to Master of Magic. Upon starting a new game, you'll be presented with a host of different AI options, from how big you want the world to be, to how many different wizards you want to fight, to what you want your battle movement cost to be, world size, initial economy. All of that stuff is configurable when you come in here and start a brand new game. Personally, I've been waiting for a faithful remake of Master of Magic for a very long time. It's the game most responsible for turning me into a fan of strategy and 4X gaming. And as I sat down to play the review build that the developer sent me, I had 2 fundamental questions in mind. First, does it do justice to the original Master of Magic? That's an important question to answer. And second, is it a good game in its own right? Like, if I knew nothing else about Master of Magic, if I didn't even know of its existence, would I want to play this game? Now, in answer to the first question, does it do justice to the original Master of Magic? I think the definitive answer is yes. From the very beginning of the game, when you're choosing a sorcerer or building your own sorcerer, the things like the spell books and even just the look and feel of the game is the same as the original Master of Magic. Of course, the more important question is the second question. Does the game stand on its own 2 feet? It's really nice that somebody remade a classic game like 1994's Master of Magic, which is beloved by many, including myself. But does the game stand on its own 2 feet? In 2022, is this a good game? So to answer that question, at least for myself, I need to spend more time with this game. I'll be upfront about this. I was given a review copy of this game days before it was scheduled to come out, which also happened to coincide with being asked to participate in Turn-Based Fest. I really had to focus my attention on USC Counterforce so I could speak knowledgeably about that game during Turn-Based Fest, and that didn't give me a whole lot of extra time to work my way through Master of Magic, which I wanted to do. That's why this is only a first look video and not a full review video. Visually, it's a very familiar game if you've played Civilization 5 or Civilization 6, if you've managed to play Age of Wonders, or if you've played Warlock Master of the Arcane. If you're familiar with these maps that use hexagonal tiles and how the cities look and how the army units look and move and how the Fog of War works, this is all familiar territory for us. So the question with this game is going to be, what does it do to set itself apart from its contemporaries, other than simply mimic the mechanics of a game from 1994? Does it do anything else? And the answer to that question is, I just haven't played far enough into the game to know for sure. Hence, again, why this is a first look video and not a full review. My initial impression of the game is that it's fairly easy to grasp without needing to know a lot of external knowledge. It's pretty easy to do things like move your armies around or click on cities and see what's going on. It didn't take me a long time to figure out much of this, and there is a tutorial system in the game with windows that pop up and tell you certain things as you're going along and playing it. For the most part, you can hover over pretty much anything and a dialogue window will pop up that explains about that particular feature or building or army unit. It's all very nicely done from that respect. There are some nice touches that I like that make it easy for new players in a game like this. One of those is when you're selecting an army and you want to click on some place to investigate it, like this particular node over here. It gives you an option. Here's an ancient temple, relic of the ages past. Beware, this place may be guarded. You hit accept and it gives you an option to back out of the engagement if it looks like you're going to get mowed down. Here we have 2 demon lords and some skeletons against our lowly high men spearmen. We're going to get annihilated. So it gives you a chance to skip the engagement and leave it for later. And the other nice thing is you can click on that particular tile if you've already visited it, and it'll show you what kind of enemies are sitting there. So for instance, as you're going through the overland map and you're looking at a dungeon and you're saying, gosh, or a temple or a ruin or whatever, and you're saying, I wonder if I should send troops there. Have I visited that? Can I remember what's there? All you have to do is click on it and it'll show you. I kind of wish there was a little bit of information that you could toggle simply by holding down an Alt key or a Tab key, and then it would immediately show you sort of the danger level on these parts of the map that you've already explored. But what's there is workable. Like any 4X game, Master of Magic sticks to the standard game loop. The early portion of the game is spent exploring and trying to capture outposts and small townships that aren't affiliated with any of your rivals. You're looking to expand your empire and grow bigger. Meanwhile, you're doing research, trying to learn new and more powerful spells. There are power nodes scattered across the landscape that are very colorful and add significantly to your mana pool and your ability to cast more powerful spells. But of course, beware, these are usually guarded by high-level enemies, and so it can take some time before you're powerful enough to capture any of them. Each of your cities can be built up with a myriad of different buildings. Many of these buildings require prerequisites to be built, and they grant you various bonuses, the most important of which are usually the ability to unlock certain military units. In order for me to speak more authoritatively about this game, I'm going to have to spend a lot more time with it, which is why this, again, is a first look instead of a review. Fortunately, that'll be easy to do since tomorrow, December 13th, the game officially launches, which means the embargo comes down and we can start doing things like Let's Play series and streaming it on Twitch. Look for a Let's Play series here on YouTube. We'll dive into this game and we'll see what it's all about. In the meantime, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. on the East Coast, Slytherin Limited will be doing a stream event talking about all of their upcoming games, including the launch of this Masters of Magic. So look for that tomorrow. I'm going to try and simulcast that on my Twitch channel. The links for those things will be down in the description below. I will see you all next time. As always, happy gaming, everyone.